only works in a illegitimate government. It doesn't work with nature. Nature don't give a shit about your privilege. As a matter of fact, nature has a whole different hierarchy. Nature makes the rules, not you.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another video. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get into it. So now, I don't know if you guys have been following the news, but there's been some news updates about COVID-19 and podcaster Joe Rogan. Now, I'm sure you've heard the term ivermectin. We'll be getting into that eventually, but let's actually do some background and see exactly what is going on. So what we have here is an article from NBC Universal, and it says podcaster Joe Rogan reveals COVID-19 diagnosis. All right. So remember, a COVID-19 diagnosis means that you have a positive test. All right. That's what that means. Okay. Popular podcasting star Joe Rogan, who's been dismissive about the COVID-19 vaccine, revealed he's contracted the disease and that he's taken ivermectin, a drug for horses, to treat it. NBC's Annie Thompson reports for today. All right. So that's interesting. In my opinion, that is exactly how long every article should be. You know what I'm saying? Short, sweet, simple, and to the point. All right. So next, what we have is a article from Yahoo News. And what it says is, you are not a horse. Might be a horse's ass, but you're not a damn horse. All right. Why is Joe Rogan taking the animal dewormer ivermectin to treat COVID? And in my opinion, that's an excellent question. Why would we do that? All right. Comedian, commentator, and podcast host Joe Rogan has said he has taken the animal dewormer ivermectin to treat coronavirus, despite official warnings against using it. All right. So what you have, all right, when it comes to dealing with a lot of this is you have a lot of people, for one, who have no medical experience, no chemistry experience, no any kind of experience. And I'm not trying to be funny. You guys can get as mad as you want. Thumbs down the video. But when it comes to that far right, right wing, I'm white and I say so. What I say is law culture. A lot of times, a lot of people live in delusion and they're in denial. And they say, well, because I said it and because this is what society has shown me, because I say it, it will be so. That only works in the movies and in the Bible. OK, it doesn't work in reality. Just because you don't want to believe something or just because you say it doesn't mean that reality is going to alter itself around you. Sorry, not sorry. All right. Rogan announced on an Instagram video that he tested positive for COVID-19 after feeling very weary and suffering from fevers and sweats. All right. So you got to remember, he comes from that element of the United States population that says that this entire thing is a hoax when we know that it's not. You know what I'm saying? Coronavirus has been around for a very long time. There's three major kind of viruses, and coronavirus is a major classification. But now, because you have political issues, it's a hoax. Stop. OK. He said he immediately threw the kitchen sink at it, turning to a range of treatments, including ivermectin, an animal dewormer that is gaining traction on social media as a cure for the virus, despite health bodies urging people not to use the unproven drug. The use of ivermectin has attracted concern from health bodies, which have issued warnings against using the drug. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration even told people, you are not a horse. Okay, now my question for the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is, we're not cows either, but you approve us to drink cow milk, and you encourage people to use WIC programs to use powdered milk instead of natural breast milk. So this is the problem when you live in an illegitimate society, and because people have privilege, illegitimate privilege that the illegitimate system has provided them, now we use nonsensical logic. It would be nice in a nice reality if we could follow the CDC's logic all the way through, but here's the problem, white CDC. For a long time, the CDC and the FDA have both encouraged people to drink cow's milk. All right. Cow's milk does not come from humans. The United States government provides WIC coupons to encourage people to drink powdered milk for your babies. That doesn't have immunoglobulins in it. It's not genetically coded for the baby. They tell us to feed ourselves and our children cow's milk. At the same time, we are not a cow. However, the United States in the system of illegitimacy has literally told its human population for centuries to drink cow's milk. So it's not a legitimate form of logic for you, the government, who has illegitimately told a human population to drink cow's milk, to use the same line of questioning against Joe Rogan and say you're not a horse. Okay, that's the problem with the system of illegitimacy. That's the problem with, you know what I'm saying, the white privilege and all of that dumb shit. When you don't make sense, now when you try to make an argument, guess what? Someone can make a nonsensical argument based off the fact that you haven't been legitimate in holding up to all of your points. Sorry, not sorry. One of the reasons why this needs to be torn down. But anyway, I digress. In his video, Rogan said after 3 days of his combination of treatment, including ivermectin, he felt great, adding, "I really only had one bad day." His video could add weight to the argument by some that ivermectin is a legitimate treatment for coronavirus, despite warnings from health experts. What is ivermectin? According to the World Health Organization, ivermectin is a broad-spectrum anti-parasitic agent. Let's start right there. First and foremost, when it comes to dealing with viruses, what you need to do is you need to block RNA, and you need to block reverse transcriptase. That's how viruses work. What you also need to do is either neutralize the protein casing so that the transfer RNA can't get out. Okay, those are the only mechanisms that can be used to stop a virus. You know what I'm saying? A parasite is like a paramecium or an amoeba. A parasite, 9 times out of 10, is a bacteria. There is no viral parasites. Okay, so first and foremost, ivermectin is a drug used against an organism. Viruses and prions are not even technically considered organisms. They're not even technically considered alive. They're technically considered biochemical agents or biological agents. They're not necessarily even living things. Okay, so you have here an anti-parasitic agent. All right. An anti-parasitic agent will be for something like malaria, something that is an actual parasite that attaches to your cell and feeds on it. Okay? That's not what viruses do. Viruses are copy machines. So to stop a virus from working, common sense would tell you, you need to stop the method of copying. The method of copying can be stopped in one of two ways. You can stop by using an interferon, which interferon would interfere with the transcription process. You can block or neutralize transfer RNA to not allow the RNA to come out of the protein shell and keep the protein shell encased. Or you can put in some kind of enzyme that would stop the replication using transfer and reverse transcriptase. Period. Those are the only ways that you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? Like, about, you know, you're used to getting the validation and, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, white men should be able to have freedom of speech and everything. I'm sorry, man. I don't know how many times I've told people this, but you cannot outdo nature. Nature makes the rules, not you. Viruses only work in those ways. Now, the thing is viruses can attack certain tissues, so you can customize it. I think that when it comes to coronavirus, if I'm not mistaken, coronavirus is more sensitive to the respiratory tissue. So you need to add chemicals and molecules that will be able to be specific to the respiratory tissues to concentrate the medication in that area, to be able to block the viral replication process. Because when it comes to stopping viruses, when it comes to stopping the spread of virus, that is what you do. You stop the replication. That's why our immune system creates its own interferon. That's why breast milk has immunoglobulin in it. All right. So that now we take it back to the beginning of this talk. And you ask, well, why did you bring up breast milk? Well, when you're drinking cow milk instead of human milk, guess what you don't get? You don't get natural immunoglobulin from your mom, which means that every human being who has been born and has not been raised on breast milk automatically has a somewhat deficient immune system. That's just the facts, whether you like it or not. Okay. So now here it says it is used in the treatment of onchocerciasis, which is river blindness, strongyloiditis, and other disease caused by soil-transmitted helminthiasis. It is also used to treat scabies. Ivermectin is often used in the U.S. to treat or prevent parasites in animals, according to the FDA, and is commonly used as a dewormer for horses. Why are people taking ivermectin to treat COVID? Please tell me how anyone in their right freaking mind would think that a dewormer would have any effect on a virus. It's two different kind of organisms. This is the level of American stupidity that I cannot deal with without getting extremely upset. People wonder why, the elites are controlling people. The elites this, the elites that. I don't agree with the elites. I have a huge problem with them. One of the reasons why I have a huge problem with them is because the elites used us to set up privilege, which is the global conspiracy that nobody wants to talk about. Everybody just wants to attach themselves to the idea of the elites, when those same everybody's who attach themselves to the idea of the elites are literally the benefactors of what the elites set up. But that's neither here nor there. The problem is that the elites have the understanding that most people are complete idiots. Bill Cooper called them sheeple, and they are sheeple. So the understanding that most of these people are idiots, you have to understand that most people are expendable and that people also have to be herded. Most people don't have independent thought, so you have to think for them or you have to tell them what to think. That is a very sad reality, and it should not be like that, and it also shouldn't be forced on people. However, if you want the world to run efficiently, I guess that's what people feel that needs to be done. And I can see that. You can't just have a zoo and let animals run wild in it. You have to section them off and put them in cages. It's the same thing with the world, sadly, because at the end of the day, the base reality construct is that we are human animals. All right. So now here it says tales of ivermectin helping to treat COVID have been spreading on social media sites, especially ones including Reddit and Facebook, where people have been sharing what they claim to be the cure for the coronavirus symptoms. And again, even if you're curing symptoms, you freaking idiots, you're still not curing the virus. There's a difference between disease management and symptoms management, for Christ's sake. Jesus, man. If you have a cold, okay, you can take Zyrtec or you can take Claritin. Do you understand that when you take Zyrtec or Claritin, you're getting rid of the runny nose and you're getting rid of the allergy-like symptoms that accompany a cold? You're not killing the freaking cold, people. Damn. The post above has been flagged by Facebook with the message missing context. Independent fact checkers say that this information could mislead people. Well, I mean, I don't know why they even care. People are already misled and they want to stay purposefully misled. So why even bother? You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that I don't get. Why even bother? Because everybody just wants to do their own thing. You literally have a global pandemic going around, and we have celebrities bragging and tweeting about how they don't wash their asses. You know what I'm saying? Is anybody striking any of that down? No. So why even bother with this? Why even bother? What they need to do is just let these people that think that they can outdo nature, let nature take care of them through natural selection so the rest of us can live and prosper. That's the way I feel about it, okay? Another post touts the use of anti-parasitic, said in a post visible here. I posted that I'm taking ivermectin for protection from COVID. So now we have people taking ivermectin prophylactically. I'll tell you what, for any of you idiot human beings, okay, I guess what? You won't get heartworm, okay? Usually human beings don't get heartworm anyway. Usually, that's something that's specific to animals, mammals like dogs and horses. Yes, I realize that we are mammals, but humans, we usually don't get heartworm. If we have issues with our heart, it usually comes from coronary artery disease, endometriosis, something like that. We get our heart diseases in the human population for things that we do. You know what I'm saying? Like bloodborne pathogens from sharing needles because of things like the heroin epidemic. You don't need to take no damn dewormer prophylactically if you're a human and you don't sleep in a mud bath every damn night. Okay? Like, this is insane, man. The people are coming out more and more stupid. And in my opinion, smart people that are average intelligence, people that are actually intelligent, we owe idiots nothing. Nothing. Nature will take care of it. You want to keep doing stupid stuff? Hey, by all means, keep doing stupid stuff without any, like, this is so dumb, okay? This is so dumb. The reason why this is dumb is that if you understood the way that a virus works, the basic principles, you would understand that a dewormer has nothing to do with a virus. Nothing whatsoever. There's no viral parasites. A virus is a damn virus. A prion is a damn prion. They are different. They are very different. They're not even considered organisms. A parasite is an organism. This is 5th grade biology, people. Jesus. Several asked, how much do you take? I'm using the liquid that you can get at Tractor Supply. Look at this. Look at it. It's different, okay? Sometimes in healthcare, in order to deal with skin issues and different things like that, people use bag balm, which is something that they put on cows to stop the chafing from when people are milking cows for human consumption. Again, another story for another day. But they use bag balm because of the damage to the skin, okay? People use that on patients in order to try to maintain skin integrity. That's not being digested, and it's petroleum based. OK, we're not talking about a targeted therapy that's not even for the vector or the pathogen. OK, like this is borderline really stupid. OK, and these are the people that are supposed to be the logic minded people. These are the masculine, moral representatives of the United States. You're idiots. You are complete idiots. And this is one of the reasons why Babylon is falling, because you are idiots and your idiocy has gone unchecked for centuries because you have a certain status and you say so. So it must be so. No. You know what I'm saying? No, not at all. Like, can we, instead of making America white again, can we make America logical for the first time in a very long time? Can we do that? Damn. How long after the last day of fever with the Rona should I wait to return to work? Last time I checked, there was a damn recommendation for 14 days already. And, you might want to do shit like make sure that the damn test is negative. I mean, what the fuck? Oh, my God. By the way, less than an hour after taking ivermectin paste my body weight, I was mostly symptom free. I was in bad shape until then. This shit works. I don't care what anyone says. Hey, Shane. Hey, idiot. That's called a placebo effect. Dumb fuck. God. Ivermectin has been widely promoted by right-wing figures in the United States in particular. Of course, I'm right and I say so. You know what I'm saying? AKA, I'm white and I say so. Listen, I didn't even complete community college, but I'm going to prescribe this damn dewormer for a virus. Are you serious? Are you serious? Is this a real thing, America? Like, what? Wow. With media personalities, there you go, including Fox News host Tucker Carlson, who is not a doctor, never worked as an STNA, not any nurse, physician's assistant, nothing. Just a racist right-wing news commentator. You have no credentials to be saying anything about anything in healthcare. None. But just because I'm white and I say so, I can just literally say, go ahead and take this dewormer and it shall be so. And a whole mob of fools go and do it. And it's just okay. I don't agree with everything that the CDC or the WHO says. However, I do try to base the things that I say in actual empirical science. That's why I still have a YouTube channel based on coronavirus content that YouTube hasn't removed. Damn. And there you go, Laura Ingraham. I want to know one prescription. I want to know one patient. I want to know one clinical outcome that Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, or Laura Ingraham is responsible for. Please tell me. Please, somebody get me that information. Unbelievable, man. In addition, a study was also published on the Research Square website in November suggesting that the treatment was effective against COVID-19. But in the preprint study led by Dr. Ahmad El-Ghazar from the Benha University in Egypt, it was withdrawn from the website in July due to ethical concerns about the research. However, there are examples of the drug being used to treat COVID. Earlier this year, the Indian states of Goa and Uttarakhand said that they plan to use the anti-parasitic drug to protect against severe COVID-19 protections. It has also been reportedly promoted for use across Latin America and in South America. Now, here's the thing, right? And please, let's use common sense here. These are countries that don't have access to the vaccine because of American and UK greed. These are countries, and even South America is using the less effective Chinese vaccines. So for those people who want to get the vaccines, right? Those people, right? Because there's a segment of people that feel that they should get vaccines. Whatever, let them get them if that's what they want. These countries specifically listed are the countries that are suffering from vaccine shortages because of America, because of the United States. That's why they're recommending this shit for those people. They're recommending it because people like Joe Rogan, who are crying about suppression when you're not even being suppressed. We have millions of pounds of vaccine here that's not being utilized because of privilege. People crying about the shit. You don't want to take the vaccine, but then you're crying about minority communities who are prioritized to get it first. Minority communities don't want to take it because minority communities actually have a history of the United States using medical malpractice against them. The population at large that's crying about the shit doesn't. So now we have all of these vaccines sitting, getting stale because they have to be refrigerated. And there's a refrigerator shortage that nobody's talking about. So because we have all of these vaccines getting stale, because we have all of this nonsense, the people that want the vaccine can't get it because the people that don't want it are advocating for the people that want it to not be able to get it. You know what I'm saying? We have all of these vaccines here stale. While countries like India and countries in South America and countries like South Africa are complaining to the World Health Organization and to the UN that we're hogging up all of the damn vaccines. So they're using treatments like ivermectin. They're not using that as a first line. God. It's just like, what in the hell, man? What do health bodies say? Health bodies have strongly urged people not to use the drug until it has been approved as treatment for coronavirus. In March, the WHO recommended against using ivermectin in patients with COVID-19 except for clinical trials because of a lack of data demonstrating its benefits. The recommendation followed a statement from the European Medicines Agency warning against the drug. The FDA has also recommended ivermectin should not be used to treat or prevent COVID-19, sharing advice in a tweet with the caption, "You are not a horse. You are not a cow. Seriously, stop it, y'all." Okay, FDA, I get it. We're not cows. Now make sure that you take that same energy to the FDA and tell them to stop promoting cow milk to humans, please. Okay? More recently, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issued a healthy advisory about ivermectin. It said during the COVID-19 pandemic, ivermectin dispensing by retail pharmacies has increased, as has a use of veterinary formulations available over the counter but not intended for human use. FDA has cautioned about the potential risks of use for prevention or treatment of COVID-19. Ivermectin is not authorized or approved by the FDA for prevention or treatment of COVID-19. The National Institutes of Health COVID-19 guidelines panel has also determined that there are currently insufficient data to recommend ivermectin for treatment of COVID-19. Are you serious? Fox News said to do it. Tucker Carlson said to do it. Joe Rogan said to do it. The white men said to do it, so it must be so. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? But these people literally don't think that we live in this fake reality. Like, snap out of it, man. In June, the University of Oxford said that it was testing ivermectin as a possible treatment for COVID-19 as part of a government-backed principal study. The university said that the drug had been added to platform randomized trial treatments in the community for epidemic and pandemic illness, the world's largest clinical trial of possible COVID-19 treatments for recovery at home and in other non-hospital settings. Announcing its addition to the study, the university said ivermectin had shown promising results as a potential treatment in small studies in humans and would be investigated as possible treatment. What are the side effects? In its warning, the CDC said adverse effects associated with ivermectin misuse and overdose were increasing, with a rise in calls to poison control centers reporting overdoses. No shit. Because not only is it about weight, all right? If you see the true American named Shane, who was in the tweet, he said, "Oh, I calculated this for my weight." You freaking moron, okay? You're not a genius just because you're white. There's also metabolic rate. There's also glomerular filtration rate. There are other things other than your kilogram per ml calculation for dosing medicine that need to be taken into consideration. As a matter of fact, another thing that needs to be taken in consideration is where this medication is processed and if you have issues with your kidneys or your liver, because those are the organs that process and break down the medications as well as your stomach. But when we live in an illegitimate system where somebody's skin color allows them to decree something and it just is because they said it, you don't consider those things. Then a bunch of people end up, calling the poison control center because, oh, I took all this medicine and something's not working right for me. There's a thing called a scientific process. There's a thing called empirical evidence. If you don't trust the news and the data that's out there, I get it. But go do your own research. Go do your own research. Don't just use your privilege of being able to say something and just because you said it, it's so. Because I'm going to tell you something. Privilege only works in a illegitimate government. It doesn't work with nature. Nature don't give a shit about your privilege. As a matter of fact, nature has a whole different hierarchy. And the people who have illegitimate privilege in this fake reality, well, when you go to the base reality of things and you look at everything on a chemical basis, you may not have privilege when it comes to dealing with nature. there may be other people that have privilege when it comes to dealing with nature. That's why it's so important for people to treat each other equally instead of acting like you're better than other people. Because in the fake reality only lasts until it falls. And once the reality falls, well, then we're in base reality. And guess what? I hate to tell you, but in base reality, your privilege is non-existent, and you go from being up here to all the way down here with other people up above you. So that's why it's important. That's why there's what's called a universal rule, which happens to mirror thermodynamics. Equal and opposite reaction. Do unto others as you wish others to do unto you. Now ask yourself a question. Historically, collectively, have you been doing unto others as you want others to do unto you? Think about that going forward. Think about some of the changes that are going on in the world. And let that question marinate as you watch the uncontrollable changes take place. Okay? The FDA warned that overdosing on ivermectin can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, hypotension, allergic reactions, dizziness, and ataxia, seizures, coma, and even death. It said even levels for approved uses can interact with other medications like blood thinners, like Coumadin, like Xarelto. The FDA also pointed out that ivermectin products for animals are different to those administered for people, which adds the risk of overdose. And that's because animals have different metabolic rates than people. That would be common sense to the freshman, to the freshman healthcare practitioner. Okay. So now here we have a article here from the CDC, ivermectin. All right. Ivermectin is a Food and Drug Administration approved antiparasitic drug that is used to treat several neglected tropical diseases, including onchocerciasis, helminthiasis, and scabies. It is also being evaluated for its potential to reduce the rate of malaria transmission by killing mosquitoes that feed on treated humans. Oh, you know what? Speaking of that base reality, natural selection, guess who has their own natural defenses for malaria? Yeah, that would be called sickle cell. So I'll let you answer that question on your own. Remember, base reality, very different than illegitimate reality. Take that into consideration. On treated human and livestock. For these indications, ivermectin has been widely used and is generally well tolerated. Ivermectin is not approved by the FDA for treatment of any viral infection. Proposed mechanisms of action and rationale for use in patients with COVID-19. Reports from in vitro studies suggest that ivermectin acts by inhibiting the host important alpha beta 1 nuclear transport proteins, which are a part of a key intracellular transport process that viruses hijack to enhance infection by suppressing the host's antiviral response. So what this does is it suggests that ivermectin can interfere with the mechanisms. All right, it can interfere with the mechanisms, but it doesn't stop or it doesn't negate reproduction, which remember, viral reproduction is the key. In addition, ivermectin docking may interfere with the attachment of these severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2 spike proteins to the human cell membrane. Ivermectin is thought to be a host-directed agent, which may be the basis for its broad spectrum in vitro against the viruses that cause Dengue, Zika, HIV, and yellow fever. Despite this in vitro activity, no clinical trials have reported a clinical benefit for ivermectin in patients with these viruses. And that's because this is the mechanism of how this works is dependent on your other immune responses. This is an immune system enhancement. It is not an antiviral. God, Jesus. Some studies of ivermectin have also reported potential anti-inflammatory properties. Exactly. And that's because, like I said, it's an immune system enhancement, which means it's generally doing things to boost your immune system. All right. It's okay. So you're getting more bullets inside of your gun, which means that your defenses are up. You're not getting heat-seeking bullets in drones that can actually hone in on what you're trying to stop. That's the goddamn difference. Some studies of ivermectin have also reported potential anti-inflammatory properties, which have been postulated to be beneficial in people with COVID-19. And again, that's because it's boosting up the immune system. It's not attacking COVID-19. It's not directly stopping COVID-19. It's assisting by proxy. All right. Some observational cohorts and clinical trials have evaluated the use of ivermectin for the prevention and treatment of COVID-19. Data from some of these studies can be found in Table 2C. Recommendation: there is insufficient evidence for the COVID-19 treatment guidelines panel to recommend either for or against. See, not for or not against the use of ivermectin for the treatment of COVID-19. That's because it doesn't treat COVID-19. It affects your immune system. Results from adequately powered, well-designed, and well-conditioned clinical trials are needed to provide more specific evidence based on guidance on the role of ivermectin and the treatment of COVID-19. All right. So I don't think we need to read all of this. All right. Because we basically got the gist. And I have people that I'm literally in the middle of trying to record a video, and it's just, I just keep getting phone calls. So, but I think we have gotten the idea. All right. I think it's pretty obvious and pretty evident that, there may be some supporting assistance that ivermectin may provide. However, it's not recommended by the CDC. It hasn't been approved yet. And again, just based on the mechanism of how it works, it's not attacking the replication process or the actual virus directly. So we can't expect it to always work. Damn it. Shit. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video. All right. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you already know what to do. Make sure you smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and I will catch you on the next video. All right. Peace.